I did not expect that to go as well as it did.
Neither did I.
I was so nervous about it because, like I said, I had nothing planned about like what you guys could actually do or not. Fucking that was entirely just on whatever you guys made make sense and like thought of. Fucking, if you at any point didn't know what to do, I had no way to push you in a direction that I already thought existed. Fucking, but yeah, stream's up.
Can she slip through the bars? She's a 6'9" half-orc. No. God damn it.
My favorite way of saying
6'9".
No is saying, well, D20s exist. I mean, when nat 20s exist.
6'9" half. I cast enlarge Piffy.
You're retarded.
Casting the largest stiffy.
I just imagine that fucking when Alex walked up and did the wind scar and it did nothing but ruin her lunch. He's just like, she's mad.
O's back.
I'm back. He's mad. She's mad.
Ha ha.
Okay.
Don't care.
Too bad.
Alright.
Alright, so yeah, fuck it, let me bring up the game, even though it really doesn't matter that much. So, what should we call it? You're, Knight of the fucking,
At the Roxbury?
yeah, Roxbury. Knight of the Raid, you know what happened, it wasn't that long ago. Freaking...
Yeah. I mean, we just pulled up to this dude's house.
Yeah. So you pull up to a building that, it's got, like, man, this shit is kind of intense. Fucking... Let's go to the next one.
Wait, what?
There we go. That's better. No, the song was like I was getting mad into it. Nothing's even happening. But fucking but yeah. So you pull up to like the fucking it's like a house with a or like a sort of a decent sized building and like sort of attached to it. It's got like a really like a pretty tall tower.
Mm-hmm.
You were directed there. You know that's the Archmage estate. Freaking and I mean like what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna like knock on the fucking door? Or are you gonna like or rather would Ichabod have given him any specific instructions as to where exactly to bring her when he got her?
I assume he stays when could you like fucking shift click me to the building?
Huh?
Oh, there it is. If you hit shift and if you hold shift and you hold on click, you can the map will drag players to the spot you're pinging.
Oh,
Interesting.
But yeah, I see where it is now. Yeah. Yeah, so I assume Ichabod lives there along Calvier.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be to take him around.
Yeah, it's a building where like it's got like a lot of like empty rooms and shit that like aren't being used because like she's like kind of just there by herself.
Mm-hmm. So he would say to bring her there, and be quiet and like be surreptitious about it.
Okay.
But if there's like probably there's I assume the front door is not like a fucking massive ostentatious everyone can see sort of deal.
Wait, you'd assume what? I'm sorry, my mic cut out.
The front door isn't so obvious that I have to say go to a side entrance.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's the middle of the night.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of like who else would be there in the ways like she doesn't like you're her guard. She doesn't have any like there's no one else around.
Yeah.
It was, like,
Him staying up this late is unusual in the first place. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, he didn't catch wind that the town was on fire.
Fuck.
No one came to wake him up.
He probably caught wind of that. He's awake.
Man,
And
it's not even like the town's on. Like it wasn't even like it's not like the fire was so big that like everyone noticed. It's the fact that the horns were going off on the walls and fucking
So Ichabod's awake.
Mad people up. Not everyone, but mad people up right now. Like what the fuck's going on?
So do I have instructions on what to do once I get to this?
Yeah, you know that you can just pull up to the front door
and knock. I'm not expecting anyone else. And if someone
knock
right.
the beat of Mary Had a Little Lamb on the wall.
I open the door and obviously it's fucking me. So I say, you made it. Come in.
Bet I dap him up. I walk in.
Would he react to the fucking shitty ass condition Veshna's in?
Yes, because the moment she walks in and then the candlelight lights up her face is, you. What the hell happened to her?
Did he cut out for anyone else?
No,
is that just me?
A little bit, but yeah. He pretty much said like what the fuck happened to her, and freaking I don't know if Calvier would probably be awake for this. Obviously, the fucking fugitives coming to our house. So fucking.
It's like it depends. Did she heard me plan this, right?
Oh yeah.
then it's up to
Yeah.
her. Because I would like, I would expect her to be like asleep or something.
Yeah. So freaking, I'd imagine like that would have been an option, but it would have been hard for her to sleep given the stakes that the things that were that were going down.
Yeah, I imagine she's in her. I imagine she's in her room or whatever. But
Yeah.
Ichabod would have told her to stay in her room and go to sleep or whatever. But she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah. So freaking so like when she sees her face, she's just gonna like gasp and just like put like a hand over her mouth and not really say anything right away.
Ah, son of a. It looks like Occam's dogs were having fun. Come, sit.
I wouldn't say Occam's dog. Let's say my man was.
Do you say that in character somehow?
Alright, so I go, when I got down there, I caught him shadow boxing her. No, I don't know. I just follow you.
Okay, so I don't know. Does Veshna say anything to correct? I know what happened, but does Veshna say anything to correct that?
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Veshna would freaking I'll wait for Mike to. He's talking to his parents or something. Mike, are you good?
Mike?
Hold on a second, I gotta go.
Oh no, yeah, I just didn't know if your parents called you or something, so I was gonna let you resolve that.
Right, so...
But yeah, she's gonna say something.
Yeah, Ichabod says Occam's dogs. I don't know if anyone corrects him.
Yeah. He's going to be corrected, 100%.
Okay.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that.
All right, cool. But yeah,
Okay, looks like Occam's dogs have been having fun.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
exactly say Occam's dogs. I'd say Occam himself.
Occam did this? And I look to Veshna for confirmation.
Yeah, she's just gonna look up and she's like, if you're talking about that brute wearing the armor, yes, he's the one who did this to me. None of his men would dare lay a hand on me. And then she freaking she just sort of winces as she says that.
All right, sit.
She takes a seat.
Okay, so we see Ichabod immediately goes off to like the corner of the room where his lab is, and he starts like pulling out some shit. He pulls out a bowl and he pours something in it, and he sets it next to sets it in front of Veshna and says, "Drink." And then he starts getting a number of other supplies ready.
All right,
Some bandages, some shit like bandages, some medicine.
Mhm.
That
Okay,
sort of thing.
Yeah, so she's gonna like sort of smell it first, and then she's gonna then she's gonna drink it.
It's anesthetic wine,
Yeah.
so I have to see how that actually tastes.
You have to what?
They have a lot of details for this sort of shit,
Oh, okay. Yeah, so let me know. Fucking.
but it says wine, so that implies fermentation.
Yeah, so it can't be that bad. It's probably just bitter. Freaking
That an alchemical developed by yes, it is quite literally a wine. So it is in fact a wine that once drunk, it gives very strong pain relief.
Okay. Like is
It's
it
not like-
it's
it
not
doesn't
like
knock her
an
out.
opioid or anything, right? Okay,
Percocet,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah,
It
I
doesn't
was
knock her
gonna
out. It's an anesthetic. It's like a painkiller.
say- Yeah, okay. So yeah, she's gonna freaking she's gonna drink that shit. Freaking
Okay, stay still. I don't have much in the way of magical healing at the moment, but I'm going to try and close some of the most severe bruises. And he's gonna, take to her face, start like bandaging shit,
Yeah.
cleaning up the blood. I don't know if Veshna stops him.
Yeah, no, she's gonna she's like it'd be one of those things where like he just immediately gets to work without really like asking or like getting consent or first or anything. He's just immediately like person wounded must help.
Yep.
And freaking and like so when he first goes to get started, that's just gonna sort of catch his hand at first, and then freaking Cal is finally gonna speak up and just like be like relax, you can trust him. And then she's gonna just sort of like she's gonna let his hand go and let him get to work. In the
Okay.
meantime, though,
Normally this would hurt, but if that wine works, then you shouldn't feel anything. Nothing except some tugging.
yeah,
Just stay
she's-
still.
yeah, she's used to pain. So freaking While he's doing that, Cal is gonna ask Khajiit.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna say, just what happened to her?
As far as I could tell, by the time I got to her holding cell, Arkham had just finished playing with his food, I guess you could say. When I finally got to her, she couldn't even stand. Apparently, from information I gathered, he's been doing this every single night.
Freaking she's just sort of she's talking to you while literally just still staring at Veshna's sort of wounds, and she says, Occam did that. He's never been one for this type of thing. Are you sure he did this?
He must have been. That brute must have been desperate. Veshna, did he tell you why he was beating you?
Freaking she's gonna she's gonna like wince a little, and then she's gonna look to Ichabod and say, I know why he did it. It's not like he didn't have good reason. I'm head of one of the biggest thorns in his side at this moment. He wanted information. He wanted information about my band, about other bands, about how we knew things about their trade routes. I told him of others. I didn't care too much about selling those guys out. But I didn't know who was leaking his information. I didn't know where it was coming from, and he didn't believe that. So he continued to beat me.
Sounds like him. So confident in his own ability that he doesn't consider that perhaps you don't know. Nor does he consider other routes of gaining information that don't involve torture. Simple-minded.
Simple-minded, but in most situations effective.
When Ichabod calls Occam simple-minded, Cal's just sort of gonna look at him and it's gonna show on her face that she didn't like that he's talking shit about it.
Kavira didn't like that.
Literally, Kavira didn't like that.
There's dog meat when you need them.
She's not. Well, yeah, but I mean, she obviously understands that given the situation, is that that's not the conversation to be having, really. So freaking whatchamacallit? I mean, I mean, that's pretty much like her feelings on it.
But this information is both troubling and at the same time perhaps advantageous. Calvira, do you know why I brought Veshna here?
Not exactly.
Okay, my intention was to hire her on as to become your own personal, but your own part of your own entourage. Let's say Occam has his legion, the high priest has his church, the chancellor has those pets of his, and I believe the treasurer also has a network of people working. You need to catch up, as it were. I thought Veshna here would be perhaps find this job preferable to imprisonment.
Not to butt in, but wouldn't it be a little strange if all the guards that were guarding the jail and Arkham himself caught Veshna just roaming the streets, or just in general being out of jail? Wouldn't that not exactly work?
Calvira concurs with that. She's yeah.
It's how about this? How about instead of using Veshna, you use me?
I have thought about this already.
Me?
This is what? No. Listen. Veshna is from the Foullands.
Mm-hmm.
She is a magical source, similar to Calvira herself. That means she does not fall under jurisdiction of just Occam's legion as a criminal. She falls under Calvira's jurisdiction as a magical, meaning that Calvira very much does have authority to hold Veshna as a captive, or an underling, whatever she likes.
And how exactly do you explain that she's here now with
Well.
Calvira and not in prison?
Well, we could. Well, the simple answer is we could explain away that she was being mistreated.
Yeah, freaking
Still doesn't
Torture.
explain how she just randomly escaped prison.
Yes,
Go on.
torture is not a torture is not condoned legally by the drug. Meaning that yes, Oakham could point out that we broke her out illegally, but then we would have to point out that he had been torturing her.
Freaking Cover's gonna speak up. She's like, that's not a game I think I'd like to play with Occam. I don't think that's
Oh?
one we'll win.
Well, if it were us versus the people and his legion, yes, we would lose. But that is not the case. If we bring this up in the council itself, he will have to contend with all of the other members.
Freaking Cover like she just puts a hand to her chin. She's like, that's true. No one else in the council would defend his actions.
Yes, I was thinking of bringing Veshna to the council directly, and if Veshna plays along, claiming that she escaped, preferring the Archmage's the Archmage as an authority to Occam, she has a very good reason for doing so now. That could work in our favor. Of course, it depends on how much Occam cares about the rule. It seems that we recently discovered he doesn't care that.
What happened? Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else to say, so I guess.
Yes, I mean, like, yeah, like, so the current, so the plan so far is that they will, just to put things in perspective, the plan is to, show, like, it's obvious she was broken out, right? But to use Occam's actions as reason, Occam's actions, as well as the fact that she herself is a magical source and could be a source of information and research about the Foullands, which is kind of Calvira's entire job. Whatchamacallit, using that as a basis of the argument, bringing Veshna to the council directly, and allowing Calvira to take control of her. That would leave Occam to focus on, that would leave him to focus on the actual fact that there was a prison break, and less so on the fugitive. Because by that point, she would, she would have someone speaking for her. She'd have a way out. And that's the plan, of course.
So, and obviously, we're not including me breaking her out, or we're not disclosing that information.
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay.
He doesn't need to
That's
know
what I was worried about.
But he definitely knows it was foul play. Fire started in the city. That the lock was burned off. Yeah. He knows that she didn't have that shit on her. She couldn't have done it alone.
Okay.
In that case, we are going to have to feign ignorance, Calvira and I. And perhaps for that reason, you should not be at the council, Khajiit.
That sounds like a plan, Stan.
That said, I did plan on, since you did perform well, I did plan on bringing one of your other companions there.
I don't think NG's the one to do it. Okay.
Yes. No, not the monkey.
How about let's see. If it can't be me, I would.
I was going to bring Inuyasha.
As I was going to say the same.
Yes, he seems to have a, shall we say, straightforward disposition. A disadvantage in politics, but out of all your group, he is perhaps the most advantageous for us. For you as well, as he won't be as he'll be the most forthcoming with information out of all you.
Yes, if there is anyone I trust not to fuck it all up, it's him.
Oh, and of course you did a job for me. I should give you a reward.
Okay. How about this? Yeah, they know the whole reason we're here. Well, how about this? You can give me a reward. Seeing that you already know why me and our group has arrived here in Zedroros, you might as well use me to your advantage. Why not bring me on as one of Calvira's personal guards, as you plan to do with Veshna?
raises he raises his only eyebrow at that. He only has one. He says, "Calvira."
Yeah. So she's gonna look over, and and she's like, personally, I never truly felt like I needed more than you, but I suppose that's naive. This is something you understand better than me. I think I'm perfectly capable. You do not. Do as you wish.
Says, "There is more use to." Says, "It is true that only you and I are just about enough to face off any dangers we encounter. But though we are sufficient in combat, politics is another game entirely."
Is he talking to me or Calvera?
He said, no, he's talking to Calvira there.
Oh, okay.
Freaking. But obviously, you're here. You can chime in if you want to. Freaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That
so I mean,
you,
go
but
on.
you wish to join Softail. I think Calvira and I will have to consider that. Now, Veshna, as for you,
Yeah, she's gonna look up.
you have heard our planning, but you do have a say in this. What do you want?
She's like, in my current state, I'm in no condition to protect anyone. Will I be allowed to stay here, at least temporarily?
Yeah, it is a rather lot. Again, up to Calvira.
Yeah. So Calvira's gonna look at her like, the estate's large. There's definitely room for you here. And what Akam did to you is horrible. That's something I truly don't believe him capable of. But I look in your eyes, and I can tell you're telling the truth. And he's an old friend of mine. He's the member of the council that I'm closest to, but that's a darkness I've never seen in him. So if you'll allow it, we'll have you. And then freaking and then she's gonna add like even if it's just a formality. And and Veshna is going to mull it over for a minute or so, and then she's going to agree.
Now, this isn't a an indentured servitude. This is a job. If you want some form of payment,
What'd you say?
talking to Veshna, I say, this is not indentured servitude. This is a job. If you want some form of payment.
Yeah, freaking she'd definitely agree with that. Freaking just like she'd probably like get into like she's still a bandit by profession. She'd get into how the fuck much, but I mean that's not something I'm gonna make you come up with on the fly. But freaking but yeah, so I mean like that conversation would take place. She like she kind of jokingly from her low position be like, yeah, so how much are you fucking paying me? Like negotiating the terms when it's clearly not in a position to do that. Kind of knowing ironically that's kind of like the point.
Think about like that. He's like a good mindset. We will discuss the details later.
Yeah. So as for whether or not Mike would whether or not you'd want to actually be a part of this as well, Kaveri would definitely ask you like what's in it for you, like you like it is she's like being pretty closed off. She'd be pretty closed off and crossing her hands in front of her chest, sort of like leaning back, freaking like many adventurers that come to Zadros, you're here for something.
Well, don't they know why we're here?
No, yeah, exactly, yeah. That's what she's.
I think she might be she knows the job you were given. She wants to know what you're into specifically.
Yeah, like pretty much what I'll just sum it up. What she's saying is she like you're here for a specific goal that it will in no way benefit you personally to like help her, right? Fucking because like she's still kind of like tight that like you guys showed up, you guys seem kind of cool, and then it just kind of ended up being, well, hi, we need you to change the fate of your country. That has nothing to do with you. You're a tool. That's sort of the feeling she got from it. So she's hesitant to specifically work with you guys on specific things like that. Freaking So like, what's in it for you?
Well,
she pretty much knows you won't do a damn thing out of the goodness of your heart.
Let me think about this answer real quick. Well, obviously you know why we've come to Sojoros. The way I see it, there's no. My job was to come here and try and persuade you to rejoin the Empire. That was called, right? The Empire.
Yes.
It's like,
join the
if I see no other way to go. One, I see no other way to go, where there's trying to help anyone. And as far as I'm concerned, I'd rather just not do this in the shadows. I'd rather do it up front. But while I'm here, even if this is successful or not, I'd rather tag along with you in Ichabod and Vishna, seeing as you are the ones I'm most familiar with. And if things were to ever get hairy, it's a good opportunity for me to continue to gain strength as I need it. As far as I see, this is where I may see something that interests me in as far as action or people. But at the end of the day, just need something to do. And a job doesn't seem a bad thing to get while I'm here.
She sort of like roll her eyes like well, if action's what you're in for, you can ask Ichabod here. A lot of this job is standing around while I'm reading books.
Mm.
Okay. Well, isn't Ichabod the one hiring me?
Yeah, no, but he's running it by her since he's hiring you to it's potentially hiring you to do to kind of be a part of the same shit he's doing. Fucking
It's fine.
And freaking whatchamacallit, and it's the job is either standing around while she reads books, or fucking if she's kind of like, all right, there's this random thing I want that's in this dangerous place, I'm going there, whether or not you like it or not, you kind of have to tag along. Fucking that's kind of the job. You kind of get treated like garbage.
Well, as an the job of the archmage is not too exciting. It is Calvira's personal pursuits that you will find the most action in, such as seeing what it is like to be the captive of bandits.
she just smirks a little bit. Freaking like turns her head.
Mm.
To be honest, Veshna's little merry men were softer than most bandits I knew. I was convinced I'd have to start gutting them the moment we were.
Freaking, she's gonna like.
Not you specifically, not you, your man.
Yeah, she's gonna open her mouth to say something, and then like just sort of like think back to the battle and just be like, nah, he has a good point. she's sort of just gonna not waste her breath defending those guys. Half of them bailed. One of them was crying. So yeah, freaking but yeah, so essentially she's down for you to be part of that whole situation. But how would that affect you and your party? Like because you guys do have a goal, and you guys are probably gonna have to
at the end of the day, we could do, like, since we're supposed to try and convince as many, we need at least 3 out of 5 of them to join us, right?
Oh no, yeah. So you're talking about getting how it's about getting Zadros to join the council, right? Mm-hmm. And how there's a council of 5 members, 2 of which are 2 of which do not want to join the Empire, 2 of which would like to join the Empire.
Do you know which ones are which, or no?
You don't yet know, but you could literally freaking like you could just ask. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say, in that point.
I mean, which she probably wouldn't be down to be super forthcoming with that information. Not gonna lie, like that would take some convincing probably.
You have diplomacy, right?
Yeah. Just because she doesn't really like you, but you could get that information out of her.
Yeah, I mean, like, at the very least, if this is one of the way I look at it is this is one of the people who, if she is one of the people who wants to rejoin the thing, it might be advantageous.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. The whole reason you were sent here to deal with the Archmage specifically is because Calvira.
She's undecided.
She's one that is like publicly undecided. People don't like. She's a wild card. No one knows what she's gonna think about it. Mm-hmm. And freaking the old Archmage would have had very obvious opinions about not wanting to rejoin the Empire or not wanting to rejoin the Empire. Hence why no one had been sent to do this yet. But the moment she kind of got she inherited the job from him because he went on a pretty much indefinite fucking sabbatical practically, and freaking whatchamacallit. So because of that, she's now a variable, and and she doesn't know exactly like entirely like what she's gonna decide yet. But if what you're implying is that if you could potentially somehow get one of the other council members to change their to vote a different way, and by that point her vote doesn't matter anymore. If that's what you're getting at, yeah, you could try to do that.
Well, my whole thing was for the most part, regardless, we're gonna have to try and convince her one way or another to try and rejoin the Empire. So getting close to her wouldn't be like a bad option.
Yeah, no, yeah, and that's a good idea. It's just that freaking one, she knows that's exactly what you're trying to do, and two, freaking so what you're saying pretty much is that this is something that you think that the party could become involved with.
I don't. It could be like I could go back and talk to them and be like, yeah, listen, I kind of got close to her. We can try and talk to her, or we can whatchamacallit. The thing is, if we don't decide to do that, and I take the job, and they're like, no, we're gonna go try and change one of the other one's minds. We're just kind of like, I'm just separated from the party because I have this job now.
Yeah, which is and that's pretty much what I'm getting at. Freaking there are ways to there are ways to get closer to her without committing to something like this, or it could just be something that's non-committal, like freaking hey, if I'm in the area, I'll help you guys out. If I'm not, I'm not, whatever. But by that point, it'd be more you lending a hand, unless you having a fucking like a job that you actually do.
Yeah, I think that's the way I'm gonna look at it. If you ever need me,
like, hey, if there's gonna be action, like I'll show up, but I'm not gonna stand around fucking for the boring shit.
Yeah. Well, I could work the way like whenever you need me. Like you don't need me to just stand around. You can get Veshton to do that. It's like
you're on call.
Yeah. I'm on call if you need me.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I mean that's something that I'm down with. She'd definitely be down for that. That makes sense. Freaking that's yeah. And Orlando, that was cool with you too, right?
Huh?
I said what? Yeah. Okay. So then, yeah, that works.
Yeah, no, I was listening. Sorry, I got distracted. But if you wanted to help in the future, then I suppose that is fair. Contacting you is going to be a little complex, but we will see how things go down.
All right, so that works. So that can very much be that, I think, unless there's anything else you think needs to be said, Mike.
Would you say it's gonna be hard to contact me?
Pretty much, because first off, now Ichabod knows you're wily as fuck. You just fucking broke Vesh out of the personal eye of Occam. How the fuck did you do that? Well, I don't know how you did it, but it's like he's not letting it show. He's not letting it show. But yo, what the fuck? This guy just broke. We didn't expect Occam himself to be so closely involved.
Yeah.
And then you just still break her out anyways. It's
if you came back and were like couldn't do it, Occam was there himself, they'd be like, oh no problem. Good point.
Okay.
Yeah, but you pulled it off anyway. That's something.
The information that she was being tortured in itself would have been invaluable. But no, you coming back, you say Occam was there, you came back anyways. I'm like, oh shit, okay, this guy's the real deal. So Ichabod, in that sense, has some respect for you. I'm sure Coffee doesn't care as much, but.
Yeah, freaking.
Yeah, no. If you
she's being a brat about it. She just doesn't fucking like those guys that much. Fucking.
I am still curious. Can you tell me about the halfling woman that was traveling with you? Seems like you really pissed her off.
That was one hell of a show, I have to say.
If there's anything you don't remember about her, you can just ask me.
No, I remember. Okay. As far as I know, we found her and we were doing a job. We were hired to go try and what were we hired to go do? We were trying to go get something out of the cave, right?
Yeah. So you were going.
Or were we specifically going to get her?
Yeah, freaking. You were freaking. You were going to get her specifically.
Okay.
And freaking the emperor had he figured out that she would be down there, and he sent you down there to get her.
Okay.
And and then the whole shebang happened there.
We were specifically hired by to do a job and go to retrieve her. You see, when we got down there, we had taken special potions and swam underwater to get to a I guess you could say a cave. Jeez, ow. Sorry, being pushed. Hold on. contorting myself. Hold on. Jesus.
Stupid shoe rack is screwing everything up.
I know.
Your dad is such a savage.
But, or I was like, oh yes, and when we got down there, we found her and someone else frozen in ice, where we were met by apparently what was her pet hydra, who tried to kill us. But we took care of that, and as far as I know, that was it. She had no memories, we brought her back to the kingdom, and then when we left to come here, she just kept tagging along. We said, you have no business, but she kept coming. And next thing you know, one of us somehow had some sort of relic that brought everything back to her memory at the worst time. So I'm just as confused as you.
You are terrible with people.
And then freaking Calvira's still crossing her hands. She's like, yeah, they all seem terrible with people.
You are lucky I speak halfling. Else I think she would ever.
Yeah, say that again. You might cut out.
Says, you are lucky I speak halfling. Else she would have attacked you, I think.
Yes, that was definitely possible. But I believe she's somewhere in the city. I will try to get any more information out of her, just to pique my curiosity. But,
I think you just about burnt any bridge you could have with her.
Yes, that is
honest.
That is definitely fair. But I'm still definitely curious.
Calvira's gonna add. She's like whatchamacallit? Like she's like well, I saw her symbol. If you're eager to get your fucking ass handed to you, fucking there's a good chance that she at some point went to the church, given that it's a church of Bahamut.
Mm.
I'll keep that in mind. If you
Yes, she seems rather tough. When I was treating her, her intestines were poking out of her abdomen, and she was still. Veshna here, and Ichabod emphasizes with a punch to the shoulder. Veshna here gave her a good ribbing.
she's gonna like sort of like laugh under her breath. Fucking.
Well, if that's all you'll need from me, then actually, you know what? I'm gonna because it's still the night of, right?
Yeah, it's still the night of.
To avoid
I don't know if you. Oh wait, go on.
I was gonna say to avoid being spotted as I leave here. Do you mind if I stay the night?
If you must, just don't touch any of my stuff.
Or any of my stuff.
That's perfectly fine with me. I
But
said after that, if you'll ever need to get in touch with me, just go to the inn. That is where I'll be staying.
So, just to make it clear, for a reward, you want to just be contacted in the future if Calvira needs help.
Well, I kind of made it a point. I'm not sure if I made it obvious, and I was like, well, you don't have. It's like instead of giving me the whole reward, you give me a little bit, and then you keep me on your list of contacts whenever you need something or whenever you need to talk to me.
Okay. On that note, Ichabod will give you something.
All right.
You are a monk, so seeing that, let me see what he can have, what he can give you.
Freaking, I just wanted to say, I didn't know if you actually wanted to try to like roll some diplomacy or something to try and like convince her to tell you about the other council members. If you want to actually try and gain that information, not making you do anything, obviously, just providing information.
I mean,
Ichabod will give you a potion of haste.
This is also information that she would have the most detailed info on it since she knows them all on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also information that if you ask the right people around town, some people would know that. Like everyone would it wouldn't be that hard to find out how Occam felt about it.
Right.
Fucking but it wouldn't be as simple as asking any schmuck. You'd like to get info on Occam, you'd have to have to ask his fucking a member of his legion. If you want info on the high priest, you'd probably have to ask someone from the church. Freaking and then there's other ones you don't even know who they are. Fucking technically, now I think about it, the only reason you even know who the high priest is because it was just mentioned. I don't think you actually got information on exactly who the other council members were.
Yeah. Could I just ask? Yeah, I'll just ask her. I was like, yeah, do you mind telling me what everyone else's name is? Just to get their names.
No, yeah, well, who they are, freaking that's easy. Yeah, she'll definitely do that. Freaking she tells you that whatchamacallit. that
You're gonna have to make a diplomacy check because she doesn't like you.
No, I was saying just asking what their names are is something that she would just be able she would just straight up tell them. It wouldn't be,
Okay.
that's something that's readily available. It wouldn't be hard for them to know. Freaking whatchamacallit, so she tells you about, you obviously know of her, you know of Occam, and you know of the high priest.
Mhm.
She tells you that the high priest's name is Clovis Orvand.
Mhm.
The other member of the council is or the other two members of the council are what you call Chancellor Vividum Emberfist. He's a dwarf, and freaking and she tells you about the treasurer, whose name is Tiziana Quinn, and she's a halfling.
Okay.
And she and you know that the freaking just because of the title, dude's called the Chancellor. That he's that Vividum Emberfist, the monk. I mean the dwarf. Well, now you know he's a monk, but yeah, he's a monk. Fucking he freaking he's like the head of the council. He freaking he's like his vote doesn't. Yeah. His vote doesn't like weigh anymore or anything, but like he's the one who like calls the meetings.
He's Sokka from
part.
Korra.
He's what?
Sokka from Korra.
Yeah. He like fucking he runs the shit. He organizes everything. Freaking he tries to keep the democracy going.
Mhm.
Fucking well, it's not a democracy, but fucking but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so you know that stuff, but you don't know necessarily how they feel about it.
Mhm. All right.
And do keep in mind that you after you guys found that letter, she did say that like she highly suspects that someone on the council is like the one who was she highly suspects that someone on the council is the person who was giving Veshna and her group the information that they were getting. She highly suspects that.
Okay, so
Yes.
it's one of the other four, she thinks.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right.
And yeah, and if you wanted to inquire any more about that in particular, freaking you can if you want to. But
we can probably rule out.
But by the time we do that, we'll do that once everyone's here.
Yep.
I was gonna
We can
say
probably rule out
I'll
both of them at
ask
this
her
point.
who she suspects, and we're like, well, since I've got some time to kill, I might as well just do some research. Who is it that you suspect is leaking information? I'd love to assist you with that.
Yeah, she would literally have no fucking clue. Fucking
okay.
she would explain that freaking she would have least suspected Occam because she knows him the best, but after the shit she's seen him do to Veshna, freaking she doesn't know how much she really knows him anymore.
Well, even if he's not even if he isn't a good person, we do know that he was doing it specifically to know who was informing Veshna, and if you suspect as a council member, it probably isn't Occam.
Which is true.
It's good to know. All right, I guess that's basically it then.
Yeah.
I don't want to really push my. I'm just gonna.
I'll
try and gain.
buttons?
Yeah, I don't want to push her buttons out. I'd rather get information in other ways.
Yeah. Plus, they're members of the party. You could get that information a lot easier than you could.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, yeah, that works for me.
That everything. See you guys in like an hour.
I'll go.
See you
Yeah.
guys
I'll
in like
go.
an hour.
I'll go sleep on a shelf. And
yeah. Fucking.
Here is your bed. Do you have a shelf?
Kathy, where's my decaf for pussy coffee mug? Holy shit! There's a fucking Jew in the cupboard.
Yeah, so.
All right. I'll see you guys soon.
All right.
See you. I'm gonna hop back over to the main chat.
Yep.